A fun fact about me. I used to hate black coffee before coming to United States, but after living 4 years in America, I love black coffee. It's amazing. Some of you might know through my Instagram story that one of my friend got rejected in his F1 student visa interview. He was only asked 3 questions and he got rejected within that 3 questions. He gave me permission to share his questions and what he answered. So I'll talk about what he answered and I'll share what I would answer, and it's totally personally my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an immigration lawyer, so do your own research. Before I get into the details of my friend's interview and his questions and answer, I really want to talk about what is F1 visa and what's the purpose of the interview. For those of you who don't know what is F1 visa, it's a status type given by American government for you to enter in United States to get your education. Now let's talk about the purpose of interview.
We want a merit-based program where people come into our country based on merit.
They really want to know only 2 things. One is, why do you really want to study further? Like, what's your motivation to get master's degree? What's your motivation to come to United States for master's degree? What's your motivation to come to college in United States? And the second is security of country. They really want to make sure that you're not a threat to country. You don't have any immigration problems. You don't have any criminal records. You're not a threat to be a potential immigrant. You are financially capable to survive in United States through your financial status, and you're not gonna illegally start working in United States. So those are the 2 main reasons I think they interview students. When he called me, the first question I asked him is that was he nervous at all? And his answer to that question was that he was nervous when he entered and he probably didn't make eye contact. I have a better way to explain this. This is the flower which has been dead or dying since last few days. When you look at it, you're not excited, you're not happy, you're not vibrant about this. Now look at this flower. It looks this is a fake flower, but it looks super happy. It has vibrant colors, it is white, the green is shining. It's super happy. It's super, when you look at it, you want to feel it, you want to smell it, you're excited, you're vibrant about this. That sets an impression in visa officer's mind. You have to understand how that feels, right? When you look at that flower, you don't feel happy, you don't feel vibrant, you don't feel positive, it's dying. That's exactly what will happen if you are nervous, if you are tensed, if you're doubtful about your own answer, if you're not confident. But if you look at that flower which was vibrant and happy, even though if you are nervous, fake it like that flower. Be happy, be confident, that gives positive vibes to the visa interview, and that's how he will reciprocate to your answer. That's how he will pursue your interview. That's how he will be more positive towards you. If you're doubt and tense and not confident, he's gonna start doubting your answers. Here's the first question he was asked by visa officer. Why did you switch to computer science? Let me give you a quick background of my friend. He did his bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication. While he was doing his bachelor's, he realized that he loves software programming and computer programming. Hence, he took some classes outside his college and got experience into computer science and software programming, and then decided that he wants to do now master's in computer science. So I know that many of you are going to be in the same boat where you did your bachelor's in electronics or any other field and want to do the master's in computer science. Here's how my friend answered that question. I'm really passionate about computers and technology. I really love software programming and coding. I know that there's a lot of future demands in computer science, so it will help me grow in my career. And also world and future is moving towards IT and innovation of technology, so that's why I decided to go into computer science. Now, I don't think there was any problem with that answer, and there's no right or wrong answer. I think that it was very generic answer. A lot of students will give that same answer, and remember, if you give this answer confidently with smiling, you might be approved for this same answer and some of you might get rejected. But I think you can put more research into that answer. You can put more practice and more hard work into that answer. Here's how I would answer that question. During my bachelor's, I learned about hardware and networking side of computer and technology. While I was pursuing my bachelor's, I really learned about software programming and coding and technology side of computers, and it really fascinated me that I can write a piece of code and make computer do something for me. For example, there are so many AI devices and there are so many human computer interface devices where you can just literally say, hey Google, can you tell me what's the weather today? And that Google will give you today's weather. It's fascinating, and I'm really passionate about building something which I can take my hardware education and software education and build some great products. So that fascinates me, and I'm really passionate about building something like that. That's why I want to do masters in computer science. See, that tells you a lot about you. It tells you a lot about your personality, your hard work, your research. It gives me detailed information that, okay, that's how he got into computer science. That's why he wants to do computer science. He's really passionate about technology. He's really into that. It's getting personal with the interviewer. I don't want to know generic answers. Everybody's gonna give me that. But what's so special? Why do you want to do it? That answer will give me a lot of, and also it tells me that you have done research. You have gotten into computer science before even deciding masters in computer science. That's why that answer will have higher impact than the other answer. The second question he was asked was, how many admits did you get and why did you pick this college? Here's how my friend answered that question. I have total 3 admits, and the reason I picked this college is because it's one of the top 25 colleges in United States. It has great classes and great professors, which meets my career goal. Now again, that is too generic. It is, everybody's gonna say that same thing. You probably have said the same thing and probably have been approved. I am not against that answer. I don't think there's any problem with it, but it's too generic. Here's how I would answer that question. I have received total of 3 admits, and the reason I picked this college is because it has really great course structure. To get my computer science master's degree, I need to finish 10 courses, out of which this college requires you to 5 mandatory classes. Other 5 is dependent on me, and I have flexibility to choose what I want to pursue in those 5 classes. It needs to be approved by computer science department, but I'm really interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence, and one of the professor has this area of research in machine learning. And one of the professor, Todd Gibson, he has really great course in machine learning and artificial intelligence. I have been going back and forth with his email, and I'm really interested in his research and one of his class where he sends students to conferences for artificial intelligence, which involves going to the companies like Google and Amazon. That will really help me learn a lot about those 2 topics. And also I've heard that there's a great campus life and student life which is ranked one of the top 25 in the state, and that's why I decided to go to this college. Now that tells me that you have done so much research about the college. You know in and out about the course structure, professor, research. It tells me your career goal, that you are really passionate about machine learning, artificial intelligence. The answer before, it says that there are really great classes and professors and it will meet your career goal. I don't know what your career goals are, but now when you talk about that your career goal is to get into machine learning and artificial intelligence, you have researched that one of the professors sends send students to conferences and it helps you meet your career goal, I understand why you picked that college. Hope that helps. The third and the final question which was asked to my friend is, what are your plans after masters? Now this is very tricky question, and I think this can get to your rejection and approval. I don't know if he was rejected and approval because of this question or other questions. Here's what he answered. After completing my masters, if I get an opportunity, I would like to get some real world experience and then come back to India and start my own startup company. Now again, some of you might answer this question and be totally okay with it and get approved. Some of you might get rejection. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Here's how I would answer that question. Before I give that answer, I want to say that I know my friend personally, and I know that his father owns 2 physical retail store for clothing industry, and he always wanted to do an e-commerce for his father's business. Now he could use that as his advantage in this answer, and here's how I would use that as an advantage and I would answer it. Currently my father owns a business in retail clothing industry. He has 2 physical locations in Mumbai, so I really want to help him set up his own digital and e-commerce website for our family brand. So when I finish my masters, I plan to gain some real world experience, then come back and set up his own business in digital world and start our e-commerce website for the family brand, and want to imply artificial intelligence and machine learning in our own business. Now this answer will work for some of you and this answer will not work for some of you. I don't know if this is the right answer or wrong answer, but I think this will convince a visa officer that his father has a business which is not digital. He wants to come back, help father set up the digital business, e-commerce. He wants to put machine learning and artificial intelligence, which has been talking in entire interview. So that kind of makes sense. It all connects together. Now some of you might not have family business. You probably are the only son. Use that as an advantage, that you want to come back, give back to your family. You want to take care of your family. Or if you are strongly involved in communities and organization or non-profit, so you want to come back for that and want to digitalize your whole non-profit, whatever that is, like, you know, give them a purpose. Give a purpose that this is why you want to come back, if you want to come back. And don't really mention about that you just want to come back. You know, that's not true. So don't say that you want to finish your masters and come back to India. That is not going to convince visa officer. Give them a purpose, that why do you want to come back. So those were the 3 questions he was asked during the interview and got rejected. He's applying again in a couple of weeks, and I wish him very good luck and best of luck, and I know that he will get it again. Now he has been practicing. I did his mock interview. He sounds more confident. He sounds more happy. That's my another advice, that practice. Here's the thing, you're spending 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs, how much ever money you're spending, so much money, right? You've already invested so much time and energy and money in getting GRE, TOEFL, and now you are at this stage where you don't want to miss this one last opportunity to get into United States, to get your education, to get your dreams to come true. You want to practice this interview, right? Take your smartphone. They have audio record feature. Record your answers. Just say these 3 questions. Practice these questions again and again until you feel like, yeah, this sounds like a good answer. Grab a couple of your friends, like you have at least 10 to 15 friends, your family members, you know, give them the list of questions and ask them that, can you interview me? That will give you more confidence in that interview situation. If you have a counseling, go and do mock interviews. I've done like 15 to 20 mock interviews before my real interview. If you want, contact me on Instagram, DM me on Instagram. I can take your mock interview if you really want to. So I hope this was helpful and informational. I hope you really take the best out of this video. Until our next episode, keep smiling and keep hustling.